Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the SHD Podcast. This is Javier, aka Stuff.
This is Luis X, aka LX,
who is currently wearing a hoodie.
Yeah, because it's about to go down.
He's looking threatening.
Mm-hmm.
And if something happens, you look threatening.
Threatened or scared?
You're scaring me. And you're in my house, so just saying.
You got the cameras here.
Damn it.
You got the evidence.
Why did I buy that? I think I pulled the camera cable. Anyway, so we are making another episode because that is what we do.
Yeah.
Every Tuesday, there is a new episode of Stuff HD, the normal podcast, and then every Thursday, there is a new GSP edition of the podcast.
We're putting in that work.
So we're putting in that work. We're not making any money, but we are making up advertisement.
Yeah.
So this
episode brought to you by Allergitech.
Because sometimes you get allergies, and
why do we just shout them out, man? We're not sponsored.
But getting allergies sucks.
By Clyde's Donuts.
Clyde's Donuts, which we just ate one, and the DiGiorno pizza. Anyway, it is definitely 100% not sponsored by Church's Chicken. Church's Chicken, you can go die. All right, now
this rant brought to you.
This rant has been brought to you by Church's Chicken. Anyway, back to our topic of today.
We're supposed to be serious.
We're talking politics kind of today. Not politics, but the elections.
Yeah, like the aftermath.
Yeah, a little bit of the aftermath. So the elections just happened. We are in the Wisconsin area.
Yep.
We're in Wisconsin.
The Wisconsin area, somewhere around there.
Somewhere in Wisconsin. So I don't know how things went down in your states.
Yeah, tweet us.
But let us know. You can tweet me at RioStuffHD on Twitter or Instagram. And
L.X at Twitter.
L.X on Twitter.
Yep.
So here in Wisconsin, at least, we had, overall throughout the country, you saw. They keep calling it a blue wave. I kind of hate that term. A lot of Democrats voted, and
but it always goes back and forth. There's the Tea Party or whatever.
Yeah, it to me it's not that surprising. What was surprising is seeing so many people voting. That was cool. I think a lot of people had a little extra motivation to go out there and vote this time. I had done a little, I hate to call it an analysis because it was something very quick, but I had ran some of the numbers in Wisconsin specifically, and it seemed like, in 2016,
there was a big reduction.
There was a huge reduction of about 300,000 people. Compared to the previous presidential elections, the midterm elections, we would always, get a lot, about 25% less. Anyway, but for the presidential, there was about 300,000 that didn't vote for Democrat or Republican.
Yeah, we're not sure exactly which.
So
way.
They might have voted for Jill Stein or whoever the hell the other guy was, but. They didn't vote Republican or Democrat, and I think that probably was the case in a lot of places in the U.S. So
I think especially in those states that are kind of like Wisconsin is one of those they call swing states that something can go red, something can go blue, like Ohio and Florida, whatever.
I think overall a lot of people were just disappointed with the candidates that we had, myself included. I voted for Jill Stein. I don't care.
It was one of those things where it's
Although to be fair, I was living in Illinois at the point, and I knew that Illinois was gonna be Democrat, so that's why I felt like. When I went to vote, I was gonna vote for Hillary, but because I felt like it was the right thing to do because I really didn't want Trump.
Yeah.
But then I was like I feel dirty voting for her. So I ended up going for Joe. But also because I know that I know this vote isn't really gonna matter. Like I know that Illinois is very much a Democratic.
But imagine if a bunch of people had that same feeling.
Yeah,
like,
true.
I'm gonna vote for this one because
no, but I don't know. I kind of felt like I had a good safety net there where I could have gone for who I really felt like voting, you know.
Yeah.
But had I been in Wisconsin, I probably wouldn't have felt that way because Wisconsin is indeed very much a swing state, and I think in those states it is definitely more important to, as much as you might hate it, to vote for one of the mainstreams if you really are against one of them winning.
Yeah, and Wisconsin is one of those places where you definitely have to come and try to show people that you really care. And, you know, like in that presidential election, Trump came many times to Wisconsin. So he put in work.
He did
here in Wisconsin. And Hillary, she has never showed up. Like Bernie Sanders came and Obama came, but
as much as I dislike Trump,
he put in that work, man.
He did put in the work.
You can't deny the fact that he navigated properly, like what a presidential candidate should be doing. You know,
should have done exactly.
So you know that's he gets that credit right there.
Anyway, so I don't want to get too much into sides.
And just like
obviously we're both neither of us are really Trump lovers, but you know I consider myself to be more like in the center. I think you probably would as well. We tend to look at
like we try to look at like the different points of views.
Correct.
Just try to really get a full picture of.
Correct. Which is one of the issues in politics that I absolutely hate. The fact that people on one side, they feel like they can only believe certain things, and then and it happens with both sides. They generalize a lot. They're like, oh, all people on this side, this is what they want, and all people on this other side, this is what they want, and that's not true. You know, like right now, I've been having a debate with my brother-in-law on Facebook about abortion and stuff, because he was mentioning how, you know, all Democrats, they just want to kill babies, and I'm like, oh, that's not true. You know, like I'm a Democrat. I'm not exactly for abortion. Like I'm not a fan of it, but at the same time, I'm like, well, you know, a lot of people believe in abortion. A lot of people believe different from what I do. And that's where I'm like, okay, in a democracy, you kind of have to accept to a certain extent the fact that other people might not share your opinion, and then, you know, just kind of learn to live with that.
Yeah, like for just not overgeneralizing on certain points of views, like, you know, and you can't say like everything is to the same degree. Like, for example, with abortion, you know, some people may feel that any case scenario should be
correct.
Okay. Other people feel only in certain situations. You know, so there is a range. There is opinions within one side or the other,
and I'm sure there's probably plenty of Democrats out there that would rather not see any abortions, like myself. You know, but again, I can totally understand how you know, with just about any topic, nothing is black and white.
Yeah,
nothing is that simple. So, you know, I'm like, as much as I don't like the idea of abortions, you know, if I had a daughter and she was raped, would I want her to go through something like that? Probably not. So I'm like, I cannot. My opinion, this is how I feel. My opinion on that does not really matter, because I cannot really give any real input that is worth anything, because one, I'm not a woman. Second, I'm not a father to a woman. So I'm like, all I can say is that I'm not a big fan, but again, yeah.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, like you said, like sometimes your opinion changes based on your situation.
Correct.
Like for example, you can be the most pro-gun person, and then something happens to your child or whatever, and then you kind of change your opinion, or
or it could be somebody with a legal gun comes and kills your kid, or you might change your mind about it.
Or with anything, healthcare, you might be like, oh, it should be all privatized and blah blah blah, but then
until you need it,
you might get cancer or something, and then you're like, man, I really wish I had good healthcare.
And that is one where I've seen so many cases of Trump supporters that are upset because all of a sudden, their pre-existing condition isn't covered anymore. So they're like, oh, wait, what happened here? Like,
yeah, because
we were supposed to change Obamacare to make it better, not make it worse.
Yeah, so like for that, like, Trump promises that they're gonna have this plan that was gonna, keep good health care, but they just, never fulfilled that promise.
Never quite happened. But anyway, election results. That is the main thing that we wanted to talk about. And what there are a couple of stories that came from this, and most of them have to do with recalls. Recounts. Some recalls maybe, but I'm first of all, I cannot understand how this is still like. It seems like every area, even in the same state, it seems like different areas do things differently. Like I know I've been to places where there is like the electric computerized,
with the touchscreen,
with the touchscreen thing. Other places, you still have to very manually fill in the circle. Like, why isn't this standard all over the place? Like why isn't it like a federal thing?
When going in the ballot, sometimes like kind of like messes with my brain is, all right, when you were in high school and you did those standardized testing where you had to fill in the things, and they always told you use a number 2 pencil.
Yep.
And then when you go to these elections, they give you like the Scantrons, but then they give you a pen.
Yeah.
And you're like, does this work? Like, I'm sure it does, but I'm like, sometimes I'm kind of like, sometimes I feel like bringing my own pencil. Like, are we supposed to be using number 2 pencils here? Like, but yeah, like, why isn't everything the same? Like, you would think that we would spend some money to kind of upgrade our elections.
Exactly. Like, here's my thing. I'm like, okay, we live in the United States of America, which is the most strongest in a way country in the world.
Yeah, should be leaders of
leaders. The main country where the main thing is democracy. Being able to, we are supposed to be the golden child of democracy. We have so much money. We have an amazing army. We have, like, as far as computers, like, my IBM was from here, like Microsoft is from here, Apple is from here.
We went to the moon.
We went to the moon. We have things like we've had like Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, even Jeff Bezos.
Those great minds, like,
and we can't come up with a damn voting machine that cannot be hacked, that we could just that make it cheap enough that we can put in every county so that everybody votes the same way, so that we don't have Florida screwing up every single election.
Like, Amazon can send you a package in 2 days for the most part.
Amazon can send you a packet in half an hour if you live in the right place.
So it's kind of like, I think there definitely should be some, but it's like, who really wants to fix a voting system that perhaps one party or the other could take advantage depending on where they live in a situation.
Well, it should be the U.S. government that wants to fix that. I know they don't.
But the thing is that the government is run by special interests, and it's kind of like one of those things where, can you really trust a democracy when these things are happening? Like they're like, well,
I mean, no, I get it.
I'm wondering if there's a country that has,
I don't know,
done things better. But how does Japan do it? Do they?
I imagine they just think their vote and it goes up in the cloud or something. But
they probably vote on their phones. Like everybody's entered.
Probably, I don't know. But honestly, the U.S. we are supposed to be all about democracy, and it seems like we do everything possible to keep people from voting. It's such a pain,
or new parties from forming and becoming relevant to presidential elections.
But yeah, my the point that I wanted to make was Florida. Like, come on, how many times are we gonna be stuck waiting for Florida to figure it out? Like,
and then they have like the whole hanging chads, where because people didn't punch in the things properly, so they're like, what does this count as?
Like they still do where they cut the thing.
Yeah, like with a pull puncher.
That? Like, take a pen and a pencil like everybody else at least. Like, it's
yeah. Like, I think there definitely should be like some of that money we spend on like random stuff that we really don't need. Like, I don't know. if I start mentioning things, it becomes too political.
Are we gonna start a GoFundMe for the U.S. government?
Like, I'm sure we have enough money to take away from, I don't know, let's say a wall, and actually fix our democratic system. Like,
oh no, but the democratic system is not important, I guess.
No.
So anyway, yeah, that is, as you guys know already, or should know, Florida. So originally Andrew Gillum had lost for governor, but I guess now they decided, they're close enough that they're gonna do a recount.
Yeah, because they kept finding other
like ballots showed up from who knows where. They just showed up.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, it's all weird. And let's be real. If this was the other way around, like, I think us, the more democratic type, would be upset because we would be like, no, Andrew won, and so
as long as your guy cheats, it almost seems like that. As long as your guy is the one who not necessarily cheats but gets the upper hand in something.
Yeah, exactly.
Because sometimes it may not be like on purpose. It just fate happens to blow your way. Like, as we will probably talk later with here in Wisconsin, but yeah, like, sometimes if your guy is the one who gets the
upper hand, then it's okay.
Oh, it's cool. No, man, fair game. But yeah, like, definitely, that's definitely.
I am, even though I'm not from Florida, I was a big. I really like Andrew Gillum.
Yeah.
I just overall liked the way that he talked, and I thought he made sense.
His presentation.
His presentation. He was very presentable, and I just liked him. But with that said, I'm like, hey, dude, you already gave your concession. Like, you already called the guy to concede, so no takebacks. Like, just accept it. And at the same time, I'm like, okay, like you're behind by like 30,000 votes. Like, what's a recount gonna do? Like how many votes are you gonna find that they did incorrectly? Or like, are you magically gonna have like over 30,000 votes? I just don't think that would happen.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, are all the votes, like, were sent in? It's one of those things where it's like, what do they find a box somewhere in a school basement that somebody misplaced, either on purpose or an accident?
And again, this is the type of stuff that I'm like, how is it that this happens? Like Like there are so many votes that for the most part they don't even count unless they have to, and I'm like, what happened to every vote matters? Like I don't know.
Yeah. Like, what do you think would be the better solution? Like, a paper and pen format or electronic, like touchscreen type stuff?
Honestly, I think that we should be able to create some kind of electronic machine that is not connected to the internet, that stores the information there, and that then from there you can download it into a USB drive and upload it directly to the government, and then that decreases the risk of hacking and whatnot.
All right. For example, I'm just throwing this out there. You say you voted in a electronic one where you do a touchscreen.
Yeah.
Do you get a
not this time, but
no? But do you get a receipt after you vote?
Yeah.
So I was thinking, like, what if like you kind of have like an official like you do your vote and then you get your receipt printed, and like you can scan the ticket, like on the phone, and it goes into this like almost like a backup system to make sure that it shows that you voted for the person that you selected. You kind of have like almost like an official vote and an unofficial. That way you can kind of compare the two. I know, and the problem with that is that if everybody would have to do it, so if they don't do it, then the unofficial one doesn't count. But I guess just having a receipt to make sure that your vote counted in a way, because yeah, I'm thinking that'll probably be the better version, the electronic one, than having to count everything manually. But then, like you said, like, can it get hacked? Like,
can it get hacked? But then at the same time, I'm like, is anybody really trying to hack us? Maybe.
But if they're not connected to the internet, then
yeah, the machines are not connected to anything.
Unless some guy has a machine that has NFC or something like that. I don't know. I'm not too versed in hacking. I'm not a hacker.
Yeah. What's to keep somebody from just going and plugging in a USB to the machine, but
yeah, there just has to be a better way.
Exactly, there has to be a better way. Look, I'm not claiming to have the answers. I just know there's a problem because every election there. First of all, it takes forever to get the everybody reporting. It's always like by midnight when you start to really find out who won or lost, because it's always like 80% reporting. Like, what's taking them so long? Like, right. they've in Wisconsin, the polls close at 8. Like, why does it take till midnight to figure out whether somebody won?
I was just thinking, because I was looking at your iPhone. What if, like, when you register to vote, they make you do a Face ID? So when you go to the polls, they register your face as instead of having like an ID, they register your face and you select. So everything is to your face. I know that'll probably be, a lot of people will be like, oh, invasion of privacy and all these things. But
the problem there I'm thinking of would be like identical twins, maybe.
I guess, but how much are they? That's gonna affect the vote. They can do that now.
How do you feel? Because so as I was mentioning, I tend to be more of a Democrat, but then I'm also kind of very much in the center, and I'm like, a lot of people complain about voter ID, like having to show your ID to go vote. How do you feel about that? Because,
like, from my experience, I kind of, working with maybe a lot of like lower income people, sometimes the DMV does, luckily, like with the individuals I work with, that they could go there. Like, I remember going to the DMV and they asking you for a letter. So you give them the letter. Then they tell you, oh, this doesn't work because it's missing this. So then you have to go out back home, look for whatever they're asking. Then you go back. Then they ask you, oh, this is fine, but now you need this other thing. So like, and this was somebody who has a ride to go to the DMV back and forth. But imagine somebody who does not have good transportation. They have to take the bus. If they make them go there, then back, then they're back like a couple times, after a while, you're going to be like, man, that's just too complicated. I'm wasting all this, money on transportation and depending on what the weather is.
But I mean, like, to be fair, don't people like normally need an ID anyway for a lot of things in their lives? Like I know for not just for voting, for many things, I need to present an ID or a driver's license. So
not for everything. Like what kind of things you would say?
Like when you go open a bank account, or
Well, a lot
when
of
you
people
go to set up a lot of things. They, even when I go to pick up something at Best Buy that I picked up, they always want to see my credit card and my ID. So
yeah, but not a lot of people do those things. I know it's kind of hard to think about that, but like there's a lot of
I just like, I want to be sympathetic to these people, but at the same time I'm like, like
the problem,
it just feels like an ID is just something that you should have anyway.
Sure, but the problem is the voter ID taking away more votes or stopping more fraud? Like there hasn't been no proven evidence that it has stopped as much fraud as it was before. But so it's just a way to prevent more people from voting too. So that itself is more fraud.
I completely agree that in a way it is to at least scare people from going to vote. But at the same time, I'm like, people should just have an ID.
Like for example, it took a long time to get the state to recognize college IDs. So before you couldn't use college IDs, but now for this past election, you were finally able to use your college ID. So and that's a lot of people. That's the only kind of ID they had. Their college ID. And I know it's kind of crazy to think that a lot of people, you would need your ID. Sometimes your ID expires and you may not be able to get to the place to get it renewed on time, or you may not have the money to get it renewed because are some IDs free? I'm not even sure.
I don't know.
Like, I wonder if there's free IDs. Then maybe that would kind of like help out a little bit more. I'm not too sure.
I mean, for me, it's just weird because I have I've been having my driver's license since woo.
Yeah, so like I think like a lot of times we're talking about a position of being a little bit more blessed than other people.
But I can also understand so that it's not always that simple. Because I lived in Illinois for many years, and I couldn't get a driver's license in Illinois because of a bad record. That there is somebody with my name and date of birth, very similar last name, and the DMV decided that this is me. And the record is from 1998, which oddly enough is around the same time that I started going to Illinois, that I started going to a church in Waukegan. But this ticket was given in some other county, some other city that I don't recall ever really going to. And I would recall if I had gotten a ticket. So, and it said that in 1998, I was, the ticket said that I was 198 pounds, which I'm like, I wish. In 1998, I was way over 198. Anyway, the point is that because they had this name and a last name that was similar, and they had a date of birth that was the same, when I went because I had moved to Illinois, when I went to change my Wisconsin driver's license to Illinois, they were like, "No, we can't give you because this is a bad record."
Yeah.
And I tried to get them to understand that this is not me, and I ended up working with a detective from the police department over there, and I sent letters to the Jesse White's office, which is the people in charge of all that over there. and I could never get it fixed. And eventually, I gave up. I gave up on trying to get my Illinois driver's license. So I lived in Illinois for over 10 years with my Wisconsin driver's license. So I was always afraid that, okay, one of these days they're gonna stop me in Illinois, and then I'm gonna have an issue. So that is one of the big reasons why I moved back to Wisconsin. Now, luckily in Illinois, I didn't need a driver's license or an ID to vote. So I was able to vote. I never wanted to get like just a state ID because I didn't know if that would somehow like screw me over for getting a driver's license. I have a feeling that if I had tried getting an ID, then it would be saying that I was that other guy. And instead of a driver's license, I got an ID because I couldn't get a driver's license. And I wanted to make sure that it was clear that I wasn't that guy. So yeah, that was definitely an example where had Illinois required me to have an ID, I would have been kind of screwed because I wasn't getting that driver's license, and I was afraid of trying to get an ID because of being afraid of it sounding like I am saying, yeah, that's me, when that wasn't me. Which, by the way, they made it very clear to me that in order for me to get a driver's license, all I really had to do was pay a $75 fee to reinstate that license, the one with the bad record. But there was a warrant for that person. That's how I found out to begin with, because I ended up getting stopped because, well, I was in a little fender bender. And, the cops came and, I was like, okay, no big deal. Like, it's just a little fender bender. But they ended up taking me in because of that warrant. Now, at the police station, I was able to, they took my fingerprints, whatever. Eventually, they said I could leave and it was all good. But the next day, that's when I tried to fix my driver's license, because they were like, oh, yeah. At that point, I had just recently moved from Milwaukee, but they were like, yeah, you definitely want to get this changed to to an Illinois one. And, that's when I found out that there is that other record. And I found out the day before at the police station, but then at the DMV, I found out that I couldn't get it because of that same record. And I tried telling them, like, no, I talked to the cops. They said it's all good. They're like, no, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Basically, it came down to the fact that I needed to take this to court, and I needed to pay from my own money to take it to court and waste my own time.
Yeah.
And I was like, no.
Yeah, they really make it so hard for you to fix your record. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you get an ID, you got to have like a bill under your name and all this and that. And a lot of people may not have that and may not be able to get an ID.
So yeah, I can definitely see how that is one of the reasons where, hey, sometimes things happen and you can't get an ID or a driver's license. So that sucks. Where was I going with this?
Yeah. Well, eventually we go to like you were talking about the recounts and how sometimes a slim margin automatically creates a recount with
so some of these recounts, they're just automatically done. Like if it's within a certain percentage. Within 1%, they have to do a recount. Mm-hmm. So that used to be the case in Wisconsin, where you had to do a recount if it fell. I think it was within 1.5 or 1.
No, it was something. If it was between 1 and 2%. You can initiate a recount, but it would be you would have to pay for it. Okay, if it's under 1%, then it was
automatic.
Yeah. Something like that.
So in 2016, when Trump won in Wisconsin, oddly enough, Jill Stein was the one that asked for a recount.
Yeah.
And they had to do a recount. So
it came out of her.
It came out of her.
Well, people donated, I guess.
Yeah. So
she got that money.
Scott Walker did not like this. So Scott Walker changed the rules so that it had to be
under 1%.
Under 1% in order for there to be a recount. So he's the one that changed the rules. So now, 2018, Scott Walker lost by, what was it, like 1.2%.
Like that.
So he kind of screwed himself because he was unable to do a recount because of his own rule.
Yeah, so that was kind of the irony in that.
So that was...
so he couldn't even pay his own recount. Like, he couldn't pay.
Correct.
He
couldn't do anything.
SOL.
That's what happens when you be hating on people, I guess.
Yeah, but like I can kind of understand, like, because like just what did Jill Stein have to gain from that?
Nothing.
Recount, like it was just
absolutely nothing.
I think she just finessed people and got that money. They did a quick recount, and it's funny because I think that it turned out that Trump got more votes than before.
Yeah,
she found more votes for Trump.
And I'm kind of surprised that she would have done that and not Hillary.
Hillary didn't care. Like I think she knew the truth. Like she knew that it wasn't going to change anything.
So
Jill Stein was like, "Want to go halvesies?"
So yeah, basically that was the elections. So some wins, some losses.
Yeah.
As it happens in every election. I personally, I was not a fan of Scott Walker, so I'm kind of glad that he's gone. We'll see how it goes with the new guy. Even though the lawmakers are already threatening to take away some of his powers that they had given to Scott Walker, now that Scott Walker is no longer there, they want to take away those powers from the governor. I think that's kind of BS, but...
Yeah, it's just politics is just a nasty game. Like
it is.
But
it seems to keep getting nastier.
It's like upper level gang activity. Like it's just like, like you're not with our crew, or we're gonna take away your cred, and you're gonna take away all this. But you're down with us, then we build you up. It's just a gang mentality up there.
Let's see, the Georgia lady, she's still fighting it, so we still don't know.
Not sure.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm still not. I haven't been up to date with the situation.
We don't know who's the governor of Georgia, I guess, because that one's still being fought. I don't know. I think after a while they just gotta give up. In my mind, I'm like, when you're down by so many votes, like, what do you think is gonna happen? I don't know. I wonder if anybody has ever actually won after a recount. Like,
I don't know. I mean, that's something like what if there's like a vote where it's just like off by one vote, recount the whole. Yeah, I don't know. Has anything ever been?
I know. In politics, in local politics, anyway. I don't know so much if this would happen at the national level, but I know in local politics you could have a tie, and then they actually have to flip a coin.
Yeah, because I think they did that with when Bernie and Hillary were going head to head for the actual nomination. In some counties, they flip coins to find out who would get the points.
So there's that. At some point, the coin decides.
It's all up to the universe.
So anyway, that was the elections. Hopefully you guys went out to vote, and my main message tonight today is. We live in a democracy, and it's a very divided country. And personally, Sometimes I wonder if that division has been pre-planned by someone. Because I find it very interesting that we're so 50-50 on just about everything. I'm like, what are the chances if I took 1,000 people and I decided, okay, we're going to eat chocolate ice cream, that 500 of them are going to be like, hell yeah, chocolate ice cream. And then another 500 are going to be like, no, chocolate ice cream is bad.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of, and I know we've talked about it before. It's like a lot of times people just vote because of their family history, but not because of any real issue that they have with anybody. Like, oh, my family's been voting blue for all their life, I'm gonna vote blue. Oh, my family's been voting red for all my life, I'm gonna vote red. But they don't really take the time.
They treat it like a religion.
Yeah, they don't really take the time to really listen to what people are saying. Maybe if you really listen, you're like, okay, that other person has a point. Oh, this other person has a point. So it's kind of like,
and
you can't be stuck on your ways.
Yeah, and remember that there is no right point. Like there is no right party. Like some people have very strong opinions on certain things, and that is perfectly okay. And that's why they have every right to vote for whatever party they feel like it. Like I started mentioning in the beginning of this podcast, my conversation with my brother-in-law, he's very much of the idea that to him abortion is bad. Okay, he would never vote Democrat because of that. That's okay. Like he has every right to feel that way, and it's good that he has a conviction, that he has a reason to vote what he's voting for.
Yeah,
which is so much better than the people who vote, like you said, because because my family has always been this, and I don't want to go against their wishes, even though I don't believe in this and this and that.
Yeah. Don't be that guy that says, "Oh, like I'm like, for example, I'm so conservative that I won't even watch porn," and they watch porn. Everybody watches porn.
Yeah.
Like, don't be a hypocrite. If you watch porn, just say you watch porn, man. You Democrat or Republican, you all watch porn.
Yeah.
Just watch good porn. Don't watch that like weird porn.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. I'll keep that. I'll leave that up to you.
If you know what weird porn is, send us an email to stuff@stuffhd.com.
I don't know why I brought that up.
Don't send any links.
Yeah, please don't.
Please don't send any links. I do not wish to actually see it. Just you letting me know it's good enough.
I wonder. It's funny because a lot of times I see the analytics of, for example, when Facebook went down. Or something like that. Like how much
sites went up.
Yeah, how much porn sites went up. So I wonder how much porn site traffic went up after the election.
A few weeks ago, when YouTube was down for a couple of hours,
Pornhub went up.
Probably. All right. So again,
hey, let's just all watch porn together.
Just
live stream.
I don't know what the heck is going on here.
Hey, it's over. It's over.
Yeah, we're pretty much done. But again, seriously, if you guys
vote,
voting is important. You should always go vote. And you know what? If somebody votes for somebody that you don't like, it's okay. They have the right, just like you have the right. We live in a country with lots of people, and we're not all the same. That would be boring. And it's a democracy, not a dictatorship, which means, sometimes the majority of the people are going to decide things that you don't like. So, I'm not saying give up. I'm not saying quit voting for the things that you believe. But I am saying, hey, accept. You have to accept. Just like I have to accept that Donald Trump is my president. It's just the way it is in a democracy.
Yeah.
But again, you'll keep fighting for what you believe, and I'll keep fighting for what I believe. And hopefully we'll be able to work together to make something, because this blaming each other thing that has been going on a lot lately, that's not gonna get us anywhere. You know,
we're
saying everything bad that happens is because of this party, everything bad that happens is because of that other party. All the people in this party want this versus all the people in that party want that. Let's hate each other type of BS. That's not going anywhere.
Because we're all going to be around each other anyways. We're all going to go to the same stores. We're all going to drive in the same streets. You know, we are going to be living life together. So regardless of,
it'll be like
you still
that,
have to live together.
That guy who shut up the Jewish place, the Jewish synagogue in Pennsylvania, and he ended up getting treatment by Jewish doctors. Like,
yeah.
You know, this is just what living in this melting pot is about.
Yeah, you don't know who's gonna be you don't know who you're criticizing, and they might be the one helping you next.
Exactly.
You know, like no matter what you do, you know, you should treat each other with respect. So.
Like I keep saying, you know, for a lot of those people out there that are blue collar, hardworking Americans that hate, not saying all of those hate immigrants, but the ones that hate immigrants, think about it. The company where you work at is probably there because the immigrants are able to produce a lot of the work. So,
yeah, and you know, that's you just treat each other with respect. You know, that's how we can do. Like,
that's the main.
If I don't like you because you voted a certain way, like, we can still be courteous to each other, but we don't have to be friends.
Yeah,
you just be like, okay, you know,
and you don't have to discuss politics with everybody. You know, one of my best friends, she's a Trump supporter, and you know, like it bothers me to a point, but I'm not gonna stop being her friend.
Yeah.
So you know, we still have very good conversations about just about anything else, and she's a great person. She, you know, I don't feel like she hates me or anything, but she's a Trump supporter, and that's her decision, and that's okay. So. Yeah, that's all I get.
All right.
So we are out of time. Please let us know what you thought of this episode. Let us know what you think of the country overall. Send your messages to stuff@stuffhd.com. Don't send any porn links, please. You can send those.
Send me all the smoke. I want all that smoke.
You can send those to L.Ekis on Instagram.
Yeah, send
L_Ekis
links
on Twitter. You can also send me messages on Twitter and Instagram @RealStuffHD. And as always, you can visit StuffHD.com for more information on everything Stuff HD, links to the YouTube channel, the JT Wear store where you can buy merchandise as well as other shirts. And there's the support page where you can find different ways to support Stuff HD, like the PayPal link and the donate button and the Patreon. But as usual, the best way to help Stuff HD is by sharing this podcast or the videos or whatever I make with people that you love, people that you like, people that you tolerate, sometimes people that you hate. Trump support? No.
Tolerate. Yeah, tolerate is such a no. Yes, it's people who need what's it called? A
podcast?
No, the MRS or the
ASMR.
ASMR. Show them this podcast.
All right. We're out of here. Y'all take care. Bye.